Hi guys, welcome to Fit Sane. I know all of you want to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. I am Aditya, and I bring to you people who are true experts on the topics we love. You can listen to them and you can ask them your questions right here if you're listening to this live. To find out about the next live episode in advance, you can follow me on Twitter and Telegram at FitRedSane. Here, we believe in action. We will simplify the process for you, bringing it down to small, actionable steps that you can take today. As you know, I have always said and we have always agreed that insurance is something that has to be done before you start investing your first penny. All of us need insurance, many different types of insurance. And personally, for me, insurance is one of the most complicated topics. But again, it is also necessary. There is no way you can go through your life without dealing with insurance. By the end of this session, Shilpa will teach us what all kinds of insurance we should consider getting and how we can make sure our claims are not rejected. There is nobody better to learn from than somebody who has set up a company around the reasons for claims being rejected, how to avoid these problems, and how to fight back if you have been wronged by an insurance company. We are lucky to have with us Shilpa Arora, who has done her associate course from Insurance Institute of India. She has an experience of over 27 years in insurance and pharmaceuticals, working as a training manager and a sales development manager in Max Life for four years. To top that, she is also a lead faculty for Japanese insurance companies that are planning to expand in India. As you all know now, her startup, Insurance Samadhan, offers services for health, life, and general insurance for issues like mis-selling of insurance policy, the injustice being served in the disguise of terms and conditions, genuine claims being rejected, and also customers encountering dishonest representatives. Their recent claim to fame has been the funding they got from Piyush Bansal in Shark Tank that was for 1 crore for 4% equity, and in all, they have raised $5.2 million in funding till today. But more importantly, they have settled claims for more than 10,000 customers at a claim amount of over 100 crore. Thank you so much to everyone for joining in and for your constant support in all my endeavors. Without further ado, let's learn from Shilpa's knowledge and her experiences. So, Shilpa, Insurance Samadhan has become the voice, I think, of every Indian family who has been scammed and served injustice by mis-selling insurance policies. And I understand you have spent many years in the insurance industry, but what made you believe that today, more than the selling of the insurance Samadhan is the need of the hour for the country right now?
Thank you, Aditya, for the invitation here and addressing the issues of, uh, what are the problems that policyholders are facing and how to avoid these problems. So, while working in Max Life Insurance, Deepak, me, and Salesh, we are three co-founders in Insurance Samadhan. We realized that a lot of people are having genuine problems with respect to their claims. They do not know how to represent the claim. Generally, they talk about their emotions when they're coming to the company, and they are not aware of the rules and regulations of IRDA, and because of which, they are not getting the claims. Also, we observed a lot of mis-selling happening, especially with the elderly group and uneducated people, wherein policies are sold with wrong promises, higher returns, and these or a single premium policy like an FD, and now these people are trapped. They have lost their money. So these things prompted us to see that there is a problem, and we should try and solve this problem, and that is how we started. And the market is huge. We are receiving over 1,500 calls every day, and we are addressing to the issues of the people, and we are accepting those claims where we feel that it has been wrongly rejected or there is a case of mis-selling.
1,500 a day is mind boggling for people like me who haven't heard of this. And it just goes on to show how much this platform was needed in the country right now.
Yes.
Just on a side note, a few people are raising their hands. As always, we'll take questions at the end. I request you to note them down. So, Shilpa, hats off to all three of you for not continuing the tradition of mis-selling and actually fighting against it. And now, coming
Thank
to
you
the
so much.
crux of the topic. One thing that I have always believed, Shilpa, and that I have always told people is that term and health are the two kinds of insurance that everyone must purchase. But now,
Absolutely.
absolutely right. And now the problem is that we have online aggregators, we have online advisors, we have offline advisors. So, in that mix, it becomes very difficult to understand how to go about deciding and buying your insurance. So, what do you think is the best platform where people should eventually buy their insurance from?
So according to me, you can buy insurance from any of the platform. It can be an aggregator, like a Policy Bazaar, or now IRDA is also launching a similar platform, Bima Sugam, wherein you can buy insurance policies at lower cost. So all those commissions are removed. But here the issue is, if you are aware of how to select a policy, you can go online and make a purchase. But if you need guidance and support, then obviously you need offline, like insurance advisor, who would come and do the analysis of the need of the insurance, and then would recommend you the product, may compare, provide you brochures, answer all your questions. So it is on you how you want to do it. Aggregators, I think the premium will be cheaper because the commissions are less if you buy directly from the company. And if you buy from the agent, there are commissions involved, but then they can help you answer a lot of questions face to face.
Okay, so that's a good point that aggregators are cheaper, but advisors will obviously be able to guide you better. But Shilpa, one more question on this. In today's times, mostly we hear people when they are visiting a doctor, we mostly tell our friends and family to take second opinions before going for any serious medications or surgery. So, similarly, in this, is there any way that a layman who does not know much about insurance can identify if the person is mis-selling insurance or actually recommending a decent policy that is suitable for them? Or do you think we can just go to
Uh,
multiple advisors and take opinions?
so currently there are no options, though there are comparisons available. You have to read the brochure. We are trying to develop an app called Polifix, wherein you can upload the policy, and the the app would read the policy and give you a summary that this is what you have bought, and this is what you have declared in the policy. Because the most important part of claim is that you need to declare everything. So what happens in Indian context is, when you buy from an agent, you generally sign the proposal form, or even with aggregators, we have seen that people are just sharing the OTP and expecting them to fill the proposal form. And they are missing on the critical informations, like like if a person has BP, diabetes, thyroid, or has been operated in the past. So these things then lead to claim rejection in the future. So we are trying to develop an app where a layman can upload the policy. The app would read it, give you a summary, and tell you that these critical information you have declared, these based on these information the claim will be settled. If something is missing, then the app would tell you that you have not done this, and this can lead to a claim rejection in the future. So which is called a quality check of the policy, which is there live for few of the life insurance company and few health insurance companies. So we are trying to solve this issue through the app. Otherwise, currently nothing is available where you can check, but you have to be more aware about insurance. That is the only thing.
So, if I got that correct, the app that you're trying to develop, it will take out the gibberish from the brochure and it will tell you the key points in layman terms to you. Is that correct?
Not the brochure. Once you have purchased the product,
As
first
in
thing is
like
that
the points that you have
you
mentioned in
have
the
got a
form.
policy. You have got a policy PDF. You just upload the policy PDF into the app, and then it will
Okay.
check and bring back that summary, and also the critical information that that needs attention for the claim point of view. So this is post
And
purchase, because post purchase again you have a 15 days free look period. If you feel it is you are getting cheated, you can always return the policy and take back the premium.
okay, and it will be able to do this directly from the PDF that we get from the insurance company.
Yes, you just have to upload the PDF and it will read and give you the information.
That sounds very interesting, and I'm sure many people will be really benefited from it. And since we are talking about it, could you just throw some light on the free look period for people who aren't aware about it?
So free look period is an IRDA regulation wherein if you have from the day of delivery of the policy. So delivery means if you receive a policy on email or physical, email is also counted. So if you have bought from an advisor, it is a 15 days free look period wherein you can check, open the policy, check everything is as per you check. So what we want you to check is the schedule page. Schedule page tells you the premium payment term, it tells you the maturity date, it tells you this death claim. It also so it gives you a summary who is the nominee, who has sold you the policy. All that information is there in the schedule page, so you will know what you have bought. And also read the proposal form where your medical information, your financial information, and occupation is filled. If that is correct, then it is fine. If you find any error or any problem, you need to contact to the company. And if you find that you have been cheated, you can return the policy and company will refund the premium. But if you have bought online through aggregators or online directly from the company, you have a 30 days of free look period wherein you can return the policy.
Okay, okay. So, guys, one thing I would like to point out here is that, see, at the end of the day, it's your money and it's your insurance. So, as Shilpa said, you have to go through the proposal forms and the forms you have filled and the PDF they have sent. Please do not expect anybody else to be 100% fair to you all the time. So, take responsibility for yourself, as we have always discussed. Shilpa, one very interesting thing I noted while researching about your company and about you, I don't know if even you have noticed this, that on some aggregator website where employees share reviews of their employers, 80% of the employees who have reviewed Insurance Samadhan there have said that there are no cons at all, that they have had no problem with you at all. And I think that's a huge number because across sectors, across countries, I think all employees have problem with their employers. So hats off to you for that. You must have created an amazing environment for that.
So actually, people are really enjoying the work. So this is kind of a social work with some revenues,
Well,
because
monetary
when
benefit,
a
yes.
claim is solved, when somebody gets a death claim, they come to the office, they touch the feet, they are so happy. Even to the telecaller, to the person who is handling the grievance, they all come and meet and they say, so they give so much of blessings that employees feel very happy that they are doing something which is of social importance too. So I think that is what keeps them going.
I think this is very important for any person when you can align your spiritual and I would say mental goals with your profession. I don't think anything can give you more satisfaction than that. So, Shilpa,
Absolutely.
talking about the employer-employee relationship, most people now have a health insurance cover provided by their employers, especially in the corporate sector. So, is that insurance, according to you, enough, or should people and individuals and couples still go for health insurance apart from what is being given by their employers?
So I always suggest that you should have your personal insurance in place. Do not depend on the group insurance, because you may change the company, the other company may not offer that group insurance. Also, when you leave the organization, though there is a now they say that okay, you can transfer your insurance, but that is also subject to acceptance by the insurer. So underwriter may reject the proposal, and I feel we need insurance at the advanced ages, like more than when we grow 50, 60. Then that is the time when the health starts to deteriorate and you need insurance cover. And that is the time when this group cover will not be there with you. And if you do not buy an individual product, then buying an insurance policy while you have issues already is impossible. So if you have a bypass surgery, in or say starting of a cancer, you will not get the insurance, and that leaves you into that risk. So always have your individual insurance, though you can take claims from your group insurance. So you continue to have a no claim bonus accumulation in your individual policy, and that gives you a coverage till long. And also in individual policy, they cannot deny the continuity benefit, so they have to cover you every year. They can't say no to you. Also, after 8 years, the claim cannot be denied. So if you continue your policy for 8 years, the chances of claim rejection becomes nil. So I would always suggest have an individual policy. Group insurance is an added advantage to you.
Okay, so in short, this is a lesson well taken that an individual policy is definitely required. But one thing that I was not aware is that so when we talk about insurance porting between companies, to a layman with insurance like me, we assume that just like in the case of a SIM card, the other company would be willing and running to take you as a customer. So you're saying that is not the case with insurance.
No, they say that you can, but that you cannot claim that continuity benefit. It is subject to underwriting by the insurer. Insurer can tell you, no, we are not converting your group into the individual policy. It's their choice. So there is a
Okay,
risk.
so it is always definitely best to take the best possible policy from the youngest age possible. Let's stick to
Absolutely.
that. Okay, so but then the thing is, and I think this is your the forte of your company. Even after paying huge amounts for health insurance premiums, we continuously come across various horror stories where the company, insurance company quoted some deductions and various factors because of which the patient ultimately ended up paying a huge amount anyway. So, what are the things you think we should take care to make sure that doesn't happen?
So, most important thing is the proposal form. So, that is the basis of the contract between you and the insurer. So, if there is any information which is wrongly mentioned in the proposal form, the chances of claim rejection are high. We have seen claim rejection also due to occupation, wherein people who are on contractual job, uh, they had not mentioned contractual job, and they casually wrote it's a permanent employee. So they just mentioned that I'm working in this company, and they did not mention that they are contractual employees. And when the death happened, this became an issue. Also in financials, like the income should match the proposal form. If the income is low and the sum assured is higher, and say a death happened, then also the claim gets rejected, that this was wrongly declared, and because of that the claim will not is not payable, because there is a definition which we will talk later, how much insurance you can buy. So by that definition also they reject the claim. And in health and life, we are also seeing a lot of rejection because pre-existing disease, simple things like a thyroid is not declared, or diabetes, hypertension, which are lifestyle diseases. If you're having a BP tablet and you feel you are okay, still you need to declare it. If you're having thyroid, and even at low dosage, you have to declare that you have thyroid, you have PCOD, whatever the lifestyle disorders we have, we need to declare. Any hospitalization, things like if you say applied for 3 4 insurance at the same time, and say you applied in ICIC, you applied in Max term insurance, uh, and say another, maybe Bajaj, and then you bought from Max and you did not buy from the other two, if that also is not declared, it's the problem. They say that why did you not declare? If any time you are uh, at the time of purchase of policy, the company rejected your proposal, you have to declare that. You have to declare all your old policies in the proposal form, because again that leads to the total sum assured formula is there. So these are things which we don't understand, but at the later stage the family suffers because claim gets rejected because of this small misses. I mean, it is shocking that since you have not declared old policies, the death claim is not paid. Occupation, simple thing. Financials, ITR is not matching. pre-existing, so everybody understand. So these are the things that you need to take care at the time of proposal form. Fill the proposal form on your own. Do not depend upon the agent or the aggregator. You know your health better. Do it yourself. Then when you're buying a health insurance, the deduction happen primarily because there is a room rent capping in certain policies. We do not understand that. We think we have a 10 lakh policy, so we have a cover of 10 lakh. No, uh, now in Delhi, is like city where the room rent can be as high as 12,000, 15,000. So there is a proportionate deduction applies. So depending on your policy, whatever is the room rent capping, similarly, the proportionate deduction will apply. If you do not want a room rent capping, you have to consider policies where this capping is not there and you get a total sum assured. You have to understand the waiting period. People think that they have bought like health insurance, now they are eligible for anything. So that's not true. There is a waiting period defined for certain diseases. So you have to understand what are the problems which will not be covered for the first 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, depending on the policies. There may be exclusions in the policies. So classic exclusion is robotic surgeries, which are the latest trend, latest. So they are partially settled. Some companies say 50% they will pay, some say 60%, some say 30%. So you need to understand what are the, these things, what are the capping and what are the things applying there. Uh, and also claim rejection is happening because we're not going to the network hospitals. So you need to, when you buy an insurance policy, you need to understand in and around what are the network hospital where I can go to, so that I get a cashless claim. If you are not going to the network hospital, then the cashless claim will be rejected. There are certain blacklisted hospitals which are highlighted on the side. You have to see if you are planning a surgery. However, if there is an accident or there is an emergency and you have to go to a blacklisted or a non-network hospital, then you have to prove that this was an emergency situation. I did not have a choice. It was an accident, and then I went there. Otherwise, if you go to a blacklisted or non-network hospital, there are issues. So these are the
Thanks for the
common reasons that what we have observed in our experience as of now.
And I don't think anybody has more experience than your company in this field because you're literally tackling this issue. And thank you so much for
Yes.
the many points. Just one point I would like to reiterate to our audience about the room rent capping because people, it is, I think, among the most misunderstood concepts of health insurance. And Shilpa, please correct me if I'm wrong anywhere. It's as simple as this that if your room rent capping is 50 rupees and you end up staying in a room in the hospital where you are admitted and the room costs 100 rupees, so you would think that fine, of the entire expenses 50 rupees extra you will have to pay, but that is not the case. The insurance company will pay only 50% of the entire billed amount by the hospital. Is that correct, Shilpa?
That excludes the medicine. Medicine they will pay full, but yes, the doctor visit, the surgery charges, and others, they will pay 50%. So proportionate deduction will be there. So they
That,
expect you to go to a room where, which is eligible for your policy. There are policies which say twin sharing only, so you have to go to twin sharing. If you go to a single room, then there is a problem. You have to pay the whatever excessive amount you have uh, claimed.
so I think according to me this becomes one of the most important clauses, and we should really fight hard to try to get a policy without a room rent capping.
Right.
And Shilpa, you mentioned very correctly about one of the major reasons of claim rejections being information being mentioned wrongly. So, a couple of very quick questions for this. What happens if, let's say, today I buy my policy? I am suffering from some disease like thyroid, but I'm not even aware about it. What happens in that case?
See, if you are not aware about it, then there is no problem. But
Okay.
at the time of admission, they send an investigator. And when we are in the hospital in the emergency, we tend to disclose everything. We don't.
Of
We
course.
have to tell the doctor, that, and they mention that history on the top. Whenever you're visiting a doctor, that okay, he had thyroid,
Right.
something like that. So if you're not aware, obviously you will not mention that also. So So then
Okay,
there
so
is not a
basically
problem.
don't
But
lie, but if you don't know, it's fine.
it's fine.
Okay, second
They
quick
should not
question.
get a document. They should not get a document which says you had.
Okay, so there should not be any old report saying that you have this disease.
Yes, yes, because they get into the old things as well.
Got it. Second question. There have also been cases where people realize after buying the policy, a few months after buying the policy, that they forgot to mention about their smoking or drinking habits or existing health conditions. Can anything be done after you buy the policy if you realize it?
Yes, you can raise it to the insurance company. So in as I mentioned in the app, this feature is also there. So if you have forgotten to declare after buying the policy and say an alert is given to you that this can lead to a claim rejection, you can write to the grievance. You can write to the customer service of the insurance company that I forgot to mention about my drinking habit, thyroid, or smoking, whatever, and let them be aware that you have declared now, so they can cancel the policy in that case. In case the underwriter feels no, we cannot cover you, so there can be a cancellation. There can be increased premium. They can ask for more premium because you have certain problems. But this will not lead to at least the bad experience of claim rejection. So it is better to declare, but these conditions are like if you have before buying the policy, if you missed out on informing thyroid after you bought the policy, then you don't need to declare. I mean, after buying the policy, if something happens to you, thyroid, diabetes, hypertension, whatever, then you don't have to declare, but pre needs to be declared.
Okay, so you're saying that if a year after buying the policy, somebody starts smoking or drinking or attains a health disease, that does not need to be updated with the insurer.
Yes, but be sure because they're also checking the social media. We are getting cases where in the hospital, they're also checking the Google location, that whether you were in the
Okay.
hospital. Sometimes people go back, acha ghar hoke aate, it was a small thing, let me go back. And if your location, the mobile location changes, that also leads to a question that, something is wrong here, something fishy. So
Okay, so
social
we have
media
to be
also
on
they are
our guard.
checking. So you when we post cheers, pictures and all that also they are checking. They're also checking your Google
Okay.
location when you are in the hospital.
Okay, Shilpa, one final quick question about where people often go wrong. So, I think in India or maybe around the world, I'm not sure. One of the most common confusions is: Am I a drinker or a smoker or not? Like, what counts as a drinker or a smoker? Is there a defined criteria for a number of times in a year or something, or even one
So
peg and one cigarette? Do you?
in the proposal form, they have defined the criteria: occasional, regular. They've also defined ml that you are taking. In cigarettes also they have defined. So you just have to take that, whatever is real for you.
Okay, so you're saying that in the proposal form there will be very detailed options from which you'll have to choose
Yes,
one.
yes, there are detailed options. Whether you are
Okay.
a casual drinker or a regular one, how much ml do you consume in a month or in a year. So all those specifications are there. So you just have to take that.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. And one final question about health insurance, Shilpa. So, especially during the lockdown in 2020, and even regularly, we often hear about very, very massive bills being generated by hospitals, bills that are more than the savings of an average Indian family. So, today, how much health insurance do you think an individual or family should take?
So there was a recent study which suggested that 5 lakhs is the average bill. 5 lakh insurance is sufficient because the average bills ranges from 2 to 3 lakhs. So they suggested that okay, 5 lakh everyone should have. But I will say that whatever maximum you can buy, because there is a lot of medical inflation. The cost of
Right.
treatment is increasing every year. So there are policies available for 1 CR. Why not go for the maximum at a young age? Because we do not
Okay.
know how long we are going to live, what will be the cost then. So if you can go for the maximum, also you can have a base policy and a top up policy. Now top up is available which is cheaper, You have a base policy of 5 lakh, 10 lakh, whatever you can afford, and have a top up of 50 lakh, 1 CR. Top up is, cheaper as compared to the base policy. So have a combination of base policy and a top up policy.
So I feel what you're saying and what I also feel is that the base plus top up should go to at least 50 lakh, if I'm not wrong, to make sure you're covered in all
Whatever
circumstances.
maximum, I think 1 CR, whatever maximum you can buy, it's on your need and affordability also. You have to pay regular premium. If you can go up to 1 CR, have it. Because buying insurance later when you have issues is difficult. You don't get insurance. You have to be healthy to
Correct.
buy insurance.
I think this is something most of us today will realize when we go to buy insurance for our parents. Most of Shilpa, this is something we have discussed on our group, that even though it is very easy for us to get insurance today, but for our parents, it's very difficult. And even if they do get, it's for a very small cover and the premiums are huge. So, yes, I think we should take some lessons from that and be insured from today.
Yes.
Okay, so Shilpa, coming, I think that should wrap up most aspects of health insurance. And coming to the next important insurance that again I feel everybody should have, that is term insurance. So if you could throw some light on, is term insurance suitable for everyone, and how much is the sum assured that one should take?
So basically, term insurance is for the protection of the financials of the family. So if I'm the breadwinner of the family, if something happens to me, whatever income I'm getting to my family, which is currently maintaining their lifestyle, is gone. So basically, what we do is, whatever I'm earning, whatever is my annual income, we multiply by 20 and we buy the term insurance. So how it helps us is that if something happens to me, my family get that 20 times of my annual income, which they can put in a fixed deposit and get, say, a return of 6%, and they get the income which I was generating. That's how the formula works. So, so this is a basic protection. It is a very cheap insurance. You get at very low rate, and you should have uh, 20 to 30 times depending on your age. At a younger age, you get up to 20, 30 times. So you should buy term insurance. At the later stage, after 50, you can only buy 10 times of the cover, and it becomes expensive also. So term insurance is something that you should buy at the start whenever you are starting the career, because you are income generating and you are contributing to the family. You are responsible for their current lifestyle, whatever school your children are studying, the fees has to go, the kitchen expenses has to run. There are loans which we take, home loan, car loan, whatever. So you have to calculate everything and ensure that these part is covered. In case something happens to you, your family is able to run the house and also pay back the loans. And term insurance also needs to be reviewed every year at the time of promotions that you have. If you're taking loans, whether you are covering those loans through a term plan. So this is a regular assessment. It's not just that you buy once a term insurance of 1 CR and sit back. You may have to review every year depending on whatever you are adding to your family, whatever risk you are adding to your family, right? So it's a regular process. You need to increase your term insurance as and when required.
No, but Shilpa, once you buy a cover, once you buy term insurance, can the cover be increased, or will you have to buy a new policy in that case?
You have to buy a new policy.
Okay, and we can have multiple policies at once. Is that possible?
There are term plans which have riders in them, which gives you an opportunity to increase your cover at specific stages of life. You can consider them, or you can also buy new policy, because sometimes uh, they are unable to pay those premiums also. When I start my career, maybe I will buy a 20, 30, 50 lakhs because I'm comfortable paying that premium. And when my income increases, obviously I get that multiple of 20 again. So I can add more term insurance and I can pay more premiums. So you can also buy product which has riders, which gives you an opportunity to increase sum assured at specified periods.
Uh, I really appreciated the logic of the way you explained how we should calculate the sum insured. So basically, when you said that we multiply our annual income by 20, so basically that will replace the income for our families exactly to what we had. So I think that
Yeah.
really works. And so the important thing, guys, here is that the death of a family member will always be a deep emotional loss, but we should make sure that it does not become a financial loss, also, at least. That is the least we can do for our
Yes.
families right now.
Our
Uh,
family should not get affected. The whatever lifestyle they should be able to continue that.
of course, that is the least we can do for them. Also, Shilpa, the way I understand this, all term insurance policies are very similar or maybe same. So, is there any criteria by which we can filter which term insurance we should buy, or the cheapest one, which is giving us the appropriate cover, is enough for us?
I think the cheapest one will be fine. Again, here, since you are buying term insurance and the sum assured will be higher, uh, the lens by the insurer will be also higher. So please fill your proposal form, declare everything: occupation, pre existing diseases, correct income. This is important.
But
Otherwise, you
then,
just go online, search whichever is the cheapest, but ensure that you fill every information on your own because this is the coverage of your family.
okay, but then as far as I understand, I think the insurance companies are not given any criteria for rejecting a term insurance claim after 3 years. Is that correct?
Yeah, Section 45 applies, which says that after 3 years, they cannot reject the claim. But if they have any proof, substantial proof, then they may, take you to court.
Oh, so it is still possible. So we still have to take care of
If,
what we are
if,
filling in
yeah,
the form.
if they have got a substantial proof, I mean, generally it does not happen. They pay.
Okay. So Shilpa, another hot debate about term insurance is whether it should be taken up till 60 years of age or retirement age or 65 or 70 or till end of life. What is your take on this?
Uh, see, I would say it again depends upon your need and requirement. If 60 is the age which is our earning time, so 60
For
has
most
to be
people, yes.
covered. Beyond that is your choice, like the whole life products which are available. Uh, Generally, they are like legacy that you leave behind. So if I'm, giving my son the house, I give my daughter a term policy because and eventually I'm going to die. So she will get the money. So it's like a legacy if you want to leave behind. So whole life products are like that. Otherwise, it depends upon your earning phase that you cover 60, 70, whatever you feel is your contributing age. Wherever you are generating income for your family, you should cover that. After retirement, it is your choice whether you want to, leave behind something for the family
So basically, till retirement age for protection and beyond that for legacy, if you want that.
if you want that.
Got it. So what is necessary is still retirement age. Now,
Yeah,
Shilpa,
because
while
that's the
running,
income generating.
got it.
Sorry.
No, no, please. So, Shilpa, while running insurance, Samadhan, and this is just my perception, and I might be completely wrong. I feel that the most complaints that you would receive would be not for term insurance policies, but for endowment and ULIP policies. Because one thing is that they're very complicated. It's very difficult to actually decipher what you will get exactly. And especially today, it is getting a lot of bad press. Endowment and ULIP policies are constantly abused and absolutely trolled by influencers, especially. So, is there any case where people should go for endowment and ULIP policies, or should they be ignored completely?
So here, the see insurance as a product, you don't expect very high returns. So now there is a share market, there are mutual fund products like this. Traditionally, if you go back, our parents would always buy a life insurance when a child is born for the education, for the marriage. So these are like you are going to get that amount. If I compared with a mutual fund or other kind of saving, you have to be alive actually to pay every year for whatever you are targeting. Suppose I'm targeting my daughter's education. I buy a life insurance, which can be an endowment or a unit link plan. And I know when she is 18, she is going to get that money, which is sum assured plus the bonuses. I will not expect very high return. The return will be somewhere in the range of 4 to 6%, or in ULIP, it may be higher. So it depends on the company's performance and how much bonus they are giving. But this is a sure short amount that, whether I'm there or whether I'm not there, my family is going to get. If I compare with mutual fund, I have to be alive. So it has to be a balance of both things. Whatever is your important responsibility, like child education, marriage, whatever you're targeting, you can have a combination of a life insurance product and other product, so that you have a guarantee whether you are there or not, this amount goes to my family and this is something that I will build more. So I think we should have a balance. These insurance products are really good, which should be seen from the point of view of protection of risk of dying too soon. Also, we also have to look at risk of living too long, wherein we have pension plans which are offered by insurance companies, which is also important. Because what I have seen in my experience is that if there is a medical emergency, we tend to, any emergency in the family, something is required. Even our kid and they emotionally tell us that I want to buy this car, and we tend to break our FDs and mutual funds for the happiness of the child and give it to them. But in pension plan, you have a restriction. You cannot withdraw the money, so you are sure to get pension till the time. In the pension, you also have to decide whatever you want. You want a regular, or you want 10 years, 5 years. But there is a surety that you are going to get pension. You can only withdraw one third of the amount, but two-third will always be your pension. So no matter how emotional things are, or how much is the emergency, but you will be getting the pension. So I think these products are important. You have to see based on your need, and you need a good advisor actually to guide you through the process, that what is the need and how you should protect the risk.
I think that is a very important point psychologically, because as much as we keep saying that equity will give X% returns and mid cap funds will give even more and small cap will make you rich within a year, the thing is, it's very difficult for most investors to go through that volatility. Most people end up selling too soon, end up buying at the wrong time. So, yes, psychologically, I agree that people should have something that will be with them, that will give them some benefit, even if their entire psychology fails them at a later stage. It's easy right now to look at CAGRs of various mutual funds and to think that they will do very well and they will never withdraw. But that doesn't really happen when they see volatility. So, yes, I agree with the psychology part on that.
And you have to be alive also to
Absolutely,
target those
absolutely,
savings.
yes.
But in life insurance, it's not like that. You still get the So in the education plan, you still get, your daughter or the son will get at the age of 18, 21, whatever you define the amount, the company will pay the premiums. And so this is also important aspect that we need to understand, rather than discarding life insurance totally because other products are available. This is pure protection for your family.
Correct. And it was also a diversification from equity to a fixed asset, as well as psychologically from a liquid asset. Equity is ultimately always liquid. So, from a liquid to a non liquid asset that you will get at the end of the day. But Shilva, talking about diversification, one thing that I have noticed among most Indians, and I feel this is more true for the Indians who were born in 70s, 80s, and 90s, that we love to buy real estate. In fact, I've very commonly seen that people tie up more than 70, even 80% of their entire net worths to their homes. So, in that case, if most of your, and that's how you calculate your net worth, you say, my house is worth these many crores. So, if that is the case for somebody, that their homes are a large percentage of their net worths, do you think they should also go for home insurance in that case?
Yeah, home insurance is not very, people do not go for it. But yes, we should have a home insurance, because now more and more natural calamity we are experiencing, something. like Himachal Pradesh, whatever is happening, people are losing so much of their properties are being washed away. So I think this is also important because this is your base. And these insurance are very low cost for 5,000 rupees a year. I mean, should be paid towards protection of your property as well.
So I gather that there is no harm, and most people should consider this as well.
Yes, yes.
So Shilpa, we are running slightly out of time, so I have a few rapid fire questions. So apart from health and term that we have already discussed, and you told us that ULIPs and endowments should not be discarded completely, but are there any other critical insurances that we everybody must take or consider?
I think travel insurance is important because I see people they travel and they just forget, especially the international travel, that you should have a coverage because anything happens, the cost of treatment is very high. We are getting such cases where people are urging us to help, but we can't help because they you haven't taken any travel insurance. So it's important to take travel insurance. Even if you're going for 2 days, it's available online. It's very cheap. When you're buying a ticket of 50,000, add another 2-3,000 for your own protection. And that's also family protection because financially you will be washed off if something happens in a foreign
Especially
country.
in another different country, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
one is travel, and Shilpa, another thing that is becoming very common today, and people are very emotional about, is becoming pet parents. So is there any particular thing for pets that people can take?
So now pet insurance is available, so you can explore that. Though there are a lot of conditions apply, you have to have that vaccination and everything in time. If you miss that, there may be problems. So just read the terms and condition when you are buying a pet insurance and ensure that you do that. The anti-rabies vaccine and whatever other whatever vaccine annual are required has to be given to the pet, and the record has to be maintained when you are claiming. So these things has to be taken care.
So basically, if somebody feels that they might end up spending a large amount on their pet's health down the line, it is best to go for it.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and so whenever we talk about insurance, we keep thinking about the private companies and the private insurances we take. Are there any government insurance schemes that might be beneficial for us?
So I think most of us will have in our accounts the Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana, where we pay a premium of 20 rupees a year, and we get a 2 lakh accidental cover and 1 lakh of disability cover. Another product which is given by our banks, which we should have, and most of people should have, is a Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima, which is you pay a premium of 436 rupees and you get a 2 lakh coverage. We are getting a lot of cases of these kinds where people are not aware what to do. So it's just the passbook entry that the premium has been deducted, and you have to reach out to the bank in case of any mishap in the family and claim the amount. It is a very simple process.
So again, I think these insurances sound so cheap that even if you have other coverages, this can still be taken, I guess.
20 rupees and 436 is too less.
Right. So I think these are two names I think that everybody should memorize, and I will mention it in the notes as well. So Shilpa, could you just repeat the two names as well?
It's Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, which is 2 lakh death cover, for which we pay 436 through our bank account. And then Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana, for which we pay 20 rupees per year, which covers death due to accident and disability. So both the insurance should be there. And they're available in your bank account. You just need an Aadhaar card and a bank account, so you can have this.
Fantastic. So I think that is a very important insight for everyone, and I think everybody must go for these. So Shilpa, my final question for you today is that where does your company, Insurance Samadhan, fit into this entire process? At what stage an insured person approach you?
So, as I said, we started with mis-selling. So, if there is some mis-selling in the family, elderly has been sold a fixed deposit, or uh, you know, uh, there are cases where people are told that you will get loan, but you need to buy an insurance policy. You're also getting calls these days, which are supposed to be from IRDA. They say we are calling from IRDA, and they have your lapse policy data. I hope you understand lapse policy. You may have bought a policy and you did not discontinue the policy. You paid one or two premiums. They have that data and they will call you and say that, okay, you have that lapse policy in Max Life, and we are now trying to refund the money. For this, you need to buy a new policy, and they will also tell you a good bonus which will attract you, and you land up buying a new policy, and you never get that lapse policy. So IRDA, COI, Ombudsman, Bima, Lokpal, all these government bodies never call anyone. So if you are getting any call, be cautious. That these are fraudulent call. You do not get interest free loan on buying insurance policy, which is a common scam happening nowadays. So be very careful. Always contact the customer care if you are getting such call that I have got this kind of call, is it true? Or you can write to us to understand whether these calls are true or false. These are lucrative call. Again, I would also like to say that insurance does not give lucrative or very high returns. So be very cautious if somebody is saying that you're going to get this much return, this much bonuses. You can ask us, you can ask the customer care of the insurance company, call them, and they will be able to answer you. So we help in mis-selling. We also help in claim rejections, so claim delay and short settlement. So you go to a hospital, and COVID specifically, we saw there was 50% reduction, 60% reduction. So when these people came to us, we helped them get the entire claim. That there are deductibles apply, as we said, that room rent capping, proportionate deductions, and there are certain consumables which will not be paid. So our system understands that, and they will tell you whether you have got the right claim, or something extra can be something wrong has been deducted. That also we take care. So short settlement, claim rejection, and claim delay, this is what we are taking care as of now. In the app, we are also building a reimbursement system. So if you go to a hospital, first step happens is there is a cashless rejection. Cashless rejection does not mean that the claim has been rejected. You now have to apply for reimbursement. So most of the people are not aware. They get a cashless rejection and then they start crying, and then they say they give up there. You have to file reimbursement. If the reimbursement claim is rejected, then you can reach out to us. In the app, we are developing this reimbursement form as well, because people do not understand how to fill the form. So in the app, you can just, whenever you are getting time, you can just fill the form. It will guide you how to fill the form, print, get the hospital signature, and submit it to the insurer. Also, people do not understand there is a pre and post reimbursement. So, before the hospitalization, whatever test and doctor consultation was done is covered, and post hospitalization, 30 to 90 days, depending on the kind of policy you have taken, that is also covered. So, you have to apply pre and post as well. This is also taken care in the app for few companies. We are trying to do maximum in this sphere also, so that people are getting convenient options now.
Okay, so that's a lot to take in, and thank you so much to Insurance Samadhan for taking care of this for us. Because honestly, it's very difficult for any individual to, even though I think the government has tried to smoothen the process, but I don't know any individual who has actually been able to fight against an insurance company and get their claims. It becomes a very tedious process, and most people end up giving up. So yeah, if there is somebody who is doing it for them at a nominal fee, I think that is just amazing. That was the need of the hour. And just one point I would like to repeat to everybody here what Shilpa talked about the scams. Just remember that no government agency will ever call you. And if anybody, be it whether they're claiming to be a government agency or a private one, if they are giving you an offer that sounds too good to be true, I'm sure it is too good to be true. Do not fall for it. And Shilpa, there's one tiny thing that we ask all our guests at the end of the session. So, Shilpa, for people who do not have any kind of insurance today, who do not have health insurance, life insurance, or anything else, After this session ends, after our discussion ends, what is the one small next action step that you suggest they can take to get insured properly?
I think uh, you should have term and health insurance. You can start with a lower amount, as I said, as in when we start earning, I may buy a small term insurance, which I can now afford, and have an health insurance is place in place, because that is also very important nowadays. We just experienced COVID. So both these things I think is important. We lost a lot of people, a lot of families are into pain because suddenly this COVID took away a lot of bread earners, and they did not have any insurance. And also the health, how much was the bill at COVID time? It was scary. So have these
That is
two
true. It
things
was
in
a
place.
very
Whatever
scary
you can
time.
buy, whatever amount you can separate and buy, you can buy on a monthly mode. Though we say better to go for a yearly mode, but you can buy on a monthly mode. Whatever you can afford, do that.
So, Shilpa, a few months back, I ran a poll asking people if they are covered for their health and life, and a surprising 64% said that they have no health and no life coverage. So, I would really strongly urge everyone. Shilpa gave a very good point that if you think it's a budget issue right now, you can go for a monthly premium payout right now, but please do not neglect this. Even though it might sound heavy on your pocket right now, it will be much heavier later if it, God forbid, it comes to that.
True.
So thank you so much, Shilpa, for taking us to this deep dive into health insurance, life insurance, and various aspects of all insurances, and how we can make sure that our claims don't get rejected. What are the points we should take care? And guys, please subscribe to Insurance Samadhan on Twitter for all their updates. I will share the link right after we sign off. Follow Fitrit Sane on Twitter and Telegram for many such enlightening conversations and daily actionable tips. Thank you so much for being with us. Stay in touch.